Insane discovery at Oak Island found by scientists. Under the mysterious shores of Oak Island is a secret that has kept treasure hunters interested for hundreds of years. From ancient texts cloaked in mystery to a hidden hatch preserving its secrets, this little island off the coast of Nova Scotia offers the key to an elusive treasure waiting to be discovered. So stay tuned as we delve into a journey into the depths of history and intrigue, as Oak Island's secrets are getting closer to being unraveled. In 1953, Penn Leary published the Oak Island Enigma, a history and inquiry into the origin of the money pit, proposing that the pit concealed manuscripts indicating that Francis Bacon authored William Shakespeare's works and was a leader of the Rosicrucians. Building upon Leary's theory, Mark Finnan further explored the idea in his 1990 book, The Second Cryptographic Shakespeare, where he identified ciphers in Shakespeare's plays and poems that pointed to Bacon's authorship. This theory gained traction and influenced works like the Norwegian book Organisten, The 7 Steps to Mercy by Erlend and Peter Amundsen, as well as the TV series Sweet Swan of Avon. Mark Finnan, in his book Oak Island Secrets, observed numerous Masonic markings discovered on Oak Island. The shaft or pit, along with its mysterious contents, seemed to mirror elements of Masonic initiation rite involving a hidden vault with a sacred treasure. Joe Nickell drew connections between the accounts of Oak Island, the secret vault allegory in York Rite Freemasonry, and the Chase Vault in Barbados. In his article, The Oak Island Legend, The Masonic Angle, Freemason Dennis King delved into the Masonic aspects of the Oak Island legend. Furthermore, Stephen Sora speculated that the pit might have been excavated by exiled Knights Templar and could potentially house the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. Another hypothesis proposes that the Rosicrucians, led by Francis Bacon, orchestrated a secret project to establish Oak Island as the repository for their legendary vault, employing clever methods to conceal ancient manuscripts and artifacts. Researchers and cryptographers like Peter Amundsen and Daniel Ronstam claim to have discovered hidden codes within Shakespeare's works, rock formations on the island, and clues embedded in other art and historical documents from the 16th and 17th centuries. According to Daniel Ronstam, the stone found at a depth of 90 feet bears a dual cipher created by Bacon. Everyone enjoys a good treasure hunt, which is one of the reasons the Curse of Oak Island has become so famous. In a world where everyone is always online and you can Google anything, it's exciting to know that there are still secrets out there. This is especially true when the secret is said to be dangerous, such as the story of a curse. According to the story, 7 people have to die before the wealth can be found. Some people say that 6 people have already died, since the money pit, where the wealth is said to be, is supposed to be booby-trapped and flooded every so often as the Legina brothers dig deeper. That number seems to be a good one. There's also a very real reason to figure out how to get through the pit safely, so the 90-foot slab comes into play. Just to be clear, the slab in question is not 90 feet long. No, this is a slab or tablet of stone that was supposedly found about 90 feet down in the money pit. The Oak Island Mystery Site said nothing about the slab that made sense. It was made from a stone that didn't come from Nova Scotia, and most importantly, it had strange runic carvings on it. What does it say on the 90-foot stone? The stone has been lost for a long time. At first, it was said to have been kept in the home of the Smith family. Later, it was seen in the window of a shop in Halifax. There are no rubbings of the writing on the stone, but most people agree that it looks a certain way. In 1949, a minister named A. Tay Kempton supposedly translated the writing and said that it said 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. That makes a lot of sense. Keep digging into the money pit, and after another 40 feet, you'll find the famous wealth of Oak Island, which could be anything from Marie Antoinette's crown jewels to the mythical riches of the Knights Templar, except that a guest expert on one show, The Curse of Oak Island, disagrees. In Season 2, Episode 5, The 90-Foot Stone, Daniel Ronstam, a cryptographer, figures out that the writing is 2 codes in one because it has both English and Spanish versions. Ronstam's version of the code is an 80 feet corn-long narrow sea inlet drain. He also thinks this could be a set of directions for excavators and wealth hunters to help them avoid the many traps in the pit. Well, it all started in 1795 when a man named Daniel McGinnis was exploring Oak Island and found a small ditch on the ground. He was, as expected, very interested, and he and 2 of his friends decided to start digging there. Find out what they found. As much as 10 feet of oak logs, flagstones, and wooden platforms. They also found a rock with strange marks on it that were hard for them to figure out. But in the end, an expert told them that the marks said 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. McGinnis and his friends went back to the spot and dug as deep as 100 feet with the help of a building company called Onslow. Still, they were unable to find anything. As if that wasn't bad enough, when they came back from a break, the pit, which is now known as the Money Pit, was filled with 60 feet of water. What's that? In the end, these people who were looking for wealth bought land on the island. In fact, many people think that they did find some of the riches since their sudden wealth in the early 19th century suggested that they had. In 1849, another group of wealthy hunters dug up the pit, but they only found empty space and valuable metals far down. In the 1890s, another treasure hunter named Frederick Blair found some iron, coconut fibers, and an old piece of paper, but nothing else. In 1965, an explorer named Robert Dunfield found proof of porcelain dishes near a cave. 5 years later, another team sent a strong camera down into the money pit. The picture may have been of treasure boxes that had been hidden, but it's interesting to know that no one has been able to find any wealth so far. Isn't that sad? Have you ever wondered if, and if so, by whom, wealth was hidden in Oak Island? Well, there are a lot of ideas about that. Many people think that famous pirates like Captain Kidd and Edward Blackbeard Teach hid the riches, while others think that secret groups like the Knights Templar were behind it. Literary experts, on the other hand, think that the famous philosopher and scientist Francis Bacon hid some of the first copies of Shakespeare's works on this cursed island. If you think these ideas are strange, wait until you hear this. Marie Antoinette was the last queen of France before the French Revolution. It's thought that Marie Antoinette's jewels are buried deep on Oak Island. Isn't that intriguing? Oak Island has been cursed since the late 18th century. As it turns out, Oak Island was once covered with red oak trees, as the name suggests. But at the beginning of the 19th century, a black ant invasion killed most of the oak trees. After that, the island kept its name, but it was filled with spruce trees and other permanent plants. There are also stories and myths that say that anyone who steps on Oak Island in search of wealth will have bad luck. Floods that keep happening in the area, along with major injuries and deaths, have made these views even stronger. In fact, many people think that no wealth will ever be found until 7 treasure hunters die in a row. It's interesting that that number right now is at 6. Even more interesting is that the brothers Rick and Marty Legina, who own this part of Oak Island, have been running a reality TV show called The Curse of Oak Island since the early 21st century. And if you're also interested in stories about lost riches and old artifacts, don't miss the chance to learn more about the secrets of Oak Island. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an update of our exploration videos.